Tim Walz and stolen valor. Since he was picked as Kamala Harris's running mate last week, this one issue has plagued the campaign. Walz claims that he used weapons of war in war, which is a lie. He also lied about his rank, which might even be worse. And now voters are going to have to decide ultimately if this is the same deal breaker that it was for John Kerry back in 2004. Take a listen.
Is this a matter of stolen valor?
I think in some respects, yes. He was claiming a rank that he just never achieved. I mean, he had it on a service coin. It was on their website. They've already walked that back. So, yes, it's definitely stolen valor.
Oh, I mean, I appreciate his service, but don't lie about what your rank is.
I'm a Marine. I deployed twice to Afghanistan. So my job was a combat engineer. So I held a weapon at war. He never did.
He says he carried weapons in war.
No, I know he didn't, because no, he's lying about it.
All right, that was Mike Carter asking voters on the ground there in North Carolina those questions yesterday. For more, I want to welcome in retired Marine Corps Lieutenant General and Michigan Congressman Jack Bergman. Great to have you on this morning, Congressman. Just wondering where you are on this stolen valor and Tim Walz and how this might affect him over the next 3 months.
Well, number one, thanks for having me on. Number two, life is what it is. And if you did something, you did it. If you didn't, don't say you did. This is clearly a case with Tim Walz of, if you will, what we would say the worst case scenario, which is running from the fight, leaving other soldiers, in his case, in my case, Marines, to fight the fight, and then him talking about it afterwards and claiming credit. It's on the national stage. He's going to have to come clean, if you will, for the reality of his record. We already know his rank was he didn't achieve what he said he achieved. But most importantly is that don't denigrate the service of your fellow soldiers, your fellow service members, to claim your own political success, if you will, because it's going to come back to bite you. I mean, we saw that back in the 70s, a long time ago, and especially when, a couple of, 20 years ago with John Kerry and what it meant for his career. But Walz needs to just come clean. He would be best served to just kind of say, you know what, I lied, and I think you should find somebody else for VP.
Do you think that people would forgive him and move on if he just came out and apologized?
Probably not in this case, because it's too high in office in the land. It'll be one thing if he was running for dog catcher or, something menial. He, maybe embellished it, and he'd probably go to the bar with his buddies and they'd make him buy a couple of rounds of drinks and be over it. But the Vice President of the United States, number 2 in line to presidency, you can't have a reputation as a liar.
Yeah, I just want to play you. So the media made a big deal about Walz's first solo appearance as Kamala's running mate. And he tried to clean this up, but to me, he didn't clean anything up. I actually think he made it worse here. Take a listen.
I'm going to say it again as clearly as I can. I am damn proud of my service to this country. And I firmly believe you should never denigrate another person's service record. To anyone brave enough to put on that uniform for our great country, including my opponent, I just have a few simple words. Thank you for your service and sacrifice.
Congressman, he came off, it's almost indignant the way he appeared there. He didn't apologize. He didn't acknowledge the lie that he's been telling for 20 years. I also noticed that whenever he's uncomfortable, one of his tells is using profanity. One of his favorite words is damn. And he thinks that somehow that makes him seem tougher or more real to everyday Americans. And I think it's quite the opposite.
Well, I would suggest to you a couple of words. Condescending being one in his use of that language, and just unfaithful. In the Marine Corps, we have the phrase "semper fidelis," always faithful, and I can't see, no matter where Tim Walz has worked or supposedly served, he's ever been faithful to the service. And again, you denigrate the service of others by lying about yours. So, I'd thank him for his service, but you know what? It wasn't what he said it was.